steam of the gospel you walk. God was nailed on a bleeding cross. Die for the rich and die for the poor. Forgive your sins and I see them no more. Oh, you could ask what you need them for. Satan, children, bong. All of them that under the law, Satan bring them down eternal grace. Make me scream and shout. Die for my sins, them down in the grave. And then he rise out, I see the faith. I see the faith. Wheel. This is the good news of Jesus Christ. What's going on? No steam of the gospel you walk. God was nailed on a bleeding cross. Die for the rich and die for the poor. Forgive your sins and I see them no more. Oh, you could ask what you need them for. Satan, children, bong. All of them that under the law, Satan bring them down eternal grace. Make me scream and shout. Die for my sins, them down in the grave. And then he rise out, I see the faith. I see the faith. That Jesus out the grave. Out the grave. And Jesus say, if you believe you're saved. If you believe you're saved. I feel to dance. I feel to dance. Renew my heart. Oh, what a God I serve.
Pleasant good day. 91.1 Talk City FM. This is the wrap-up show with Obi and Kingsley. We are here to take you right down till you lie down, the final hour or the final show for the afternoon. We are having some late starts, but that is only due to the cricket. So we please ask that you all bear with us as we, go through the cricket season that is in the air. But we are still here, and we are going to give you what we have to give you before the day is done. So to everybody on the Facebook and the YouTube, everybody on the highway and the byways, making their way home in the beautiful Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, good afternoon. Kingsley.
Good evening to you all. Good evening. I'm still here with Obi. And yes, I'm saying good evening to our international listeners. Tobago, good evening to you. I'm saying good evening to the Caribbean. And the Caribbean has some hot waters in it. But good evening to you, my people of the Caribbean. And yes, so Obi, what's up on the agenda?
Well, we continued from yesterday. We done behind. So let me see how the schedule looking like to see if I could free up a little bit. Yeah, it's looking like it's a wiggle room. Thank you, Talk 91.1 Talk City, for understanding the situation and giving us a little wiggle room. So we were continuing the discussion, and for the people who was hoping to see the TikTok this afternoon, fortunately I left my charger home, so it won't have any TikTok this evening. But we were talking about land yesterday, and the conversation was wrapped around Mrs. Shirley asking one of the African elders reference to land and owning land and black people owning land in Trinidad and Tobago, and he was saying that we weren't given land. And I went in to explain that everybody else get land, but we didn't get none. The Indo community would have gotten through indentureship. Eric Williams would have given parts of Westmoreland to the Syrian Lebanese community, and Freetown and Belmont and surrounding areas would have been given to black people by the colonialists who was there before, or their slave masters from before. But throughout the history, there hasn't been a situation where PNM really gave land. And we were questioning how come, for so long, land wasn't given to the Afro community, given so long of the PNM running the country. And in reality, I told Kingsley, I said, it's not that land wasn't given to them. Land was given to them, but land was given to them in terms of, in forms that can, how should I put it, hold them ransom for votes. So you would have had plannings plannings was their version of giving black people homes and land. And then you would have had the HDC housing scheme, because that is literally what it was. It was a scheme. It was a racket. Most of the time HDC is used as a political tool, where even you would have seen leading up to the election, Faulty Farris went and gave away a bunch of incomplete houses in his constituencies to the joy of the Afro-Trinbagonians who got them, who were celebrating, even though they were greatly incomplete. But at the same time, when you are waiting on a list to get a home for so very long, even an incomplete home is just as good as getting a complete one. So the reality of it is, within the parameters of the discussion, I wanted to take a look at what is going on in terms of land and development and HGC and everything like that. Because you have Philip Edward Alexander touring HGC residents across Trinidad and Tobago. And when I hear there's a saying that people say you can't please Trinis, Philip is proving that in real time. Because for a very long time, they would accuse him of not doing his job. All the PNM trolls would attack him and say he always on social media. He doesn't have a position. He is just a minister with a position. Why they need 3 ministers? He doesn't serve a purpose. Right? But the reality of it is, now he's doing his job. And it seems like because he's doing his job and he's doing it exceptionally well, you have a bunch of people who upset he doing his job now. Because not only is his job showing up the incompetency of the PNM, it is also showing up the neglect of the PNM. But those aren't the things that I am taking away from it. The neglect of the PNM, I'm not studying that because that is known. Right? The incompetence of the PNM, I'm not studying that because that is known. What I am taking away from it is the PNM's choice of lack of enforcement of the rules. Because the lack of enforcement from the rules gives the PNM two things to benefit from. One, the minister or ministers who would have conducted or controlled the HGC didn't have anything to do. So they were technically earning money from the taxpayers' purse for basically doing nothing at all. And the voter base, or the people who would have been inheriting these apartments, were living comfortably off of the backs of tax-paying citizens, because instead of paying their bills or maintaining the standard of the building, they were living off of the taxpayers, because in most cases they didn't have a reason to maintain, upkeep, or even pay. Because the thing that paid for that was their loyalty to the PNM every time they dipped the finger for them. I want to go back to an article that was published last year. Before the election, I would like to say last year or year before. And the article read, "Squatting tenant saves HDC apartment from burning down." That article was at the front page of our papers, Kingsley, where a squatting tenant who had no documentation to be there, he wasn't paying rent, he wasn't paying current, neighbor apartment caught a fire. And in traditional fashion, when your neighbor apartment on fire wet yours, he chose not to wet his. He chose to assist out in his neighbor's zone. And to this day, that individual still resides there. Doesn't pay rent, doesn't pay current. He's living tax-free off of the taxpayers' backs. That article was ran in the papers. And nobody in the PNM at that time saw that article and felt like what was written was strange and to do an investigation into it to stop it. Now you have Philip on the ground and somebody is saying that they were given a letter or a letter was written because Scotland said he wrote a letter and that his process was legitimate and above board because he wrote a letter to HGC with the hopes of this squatter being regulated. Right? Now, my question is this. How are you regulating a squatter who is residing in a building that is earmarked for demolition? It's earmarked for demolition. It's a safety risk just having the person there. He would know that because it's marked for demolition. And even if he's writing a letter to HDC to have this person given comfort for the space that they are in, HDC now would know that that place that you are writing that letter for us for is earmarked for demolition. For demolition. But the person still resides there. The AC blowing colder than what we are going on inside the studio here right now. And the current was hooked up and they wasn't paying no bills. Now, I am seeing people in the comment section, Kingsley, and they are making statements like, let the people live. Why are you interfering with them people? People should be allowed to live. Why Philippe go and harass people who really giving problems? So my question is this. Is it a case, Kingsley, that we have no problem with corruption just as long as the corruption benefits us in some capacity? Because that is what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
That is what it looks like to me.
And I say that something, Obi, that I say that them ministers before was not working. And I want to ask you, how you come up with that?
Because when you see the level of disarray that the buildings are in, these things didn't happen in the 8 or 9 months that the UNC has been in governance. These are problems that these people would have inherited and lived. These people would have been living with from long before. But you see, the reason why I want you all to understand what is being done and break it down for you all to understand.
If I could join you, Obi, a little bit.
Go ahead.
And I want to say, Obi, you are right. Definitely right. Because also what Philip Alexander is doing is highlighting what the minister them did not do for over 10 years.
Right.
So from there, you could have a judgment and say that the minister them ain't do nothing. Just by Philip going around in different housing department and showing how it is. What they was doing, 3 of them was there.
Nothing.
What they was doing there for the last 10 years. Penny Pashude, Camille Pashude. a whole set of them pass you there. And I fully that was asking because I want to know if you understand what they're saying.
You're right.
If because they fail, the agency fail, housing fail.
Well, this comes back to what I see when I said it's broken by design. They didn't fail HDC. HDC is part of the PNM's process of keeping voters loyal to them. And I'm going to tell you and the rest of the nation how it's constructed and why it has been something that has benefited the PNM for decades. You see, when you give people cheap rent that is below the market value of the average citizen in Trinidad and Tobago who is renting an apartment. The average rental cost in Trinidad and Tobago, if you're starting from baseline apartments, 2,000, 2,005, 3,000 go up. And in most places, you ain't getting 2,005 again. You're getting 26, 27, 28. That is where it's starting. You have some of these people owning 2-bedroom apartments in apartment complexes and their rent is 50, 200, and in that case, based on the interview, $350. Right? These apartments have not been upgraded for decades because the PNM did not see a reason to upgrade these apartments, right?
Why? Can you answer me why?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you see, if I upgrade your infrastructure, your rent has to raise. And because no landlord, if a landlord comes, let's just say this is an apartment. And if they decided to come and say, we want to install 2 AC units inside of here for your comfort, the landlord is going to add on to your rent. And in most cases, yes, the tenants would become annoyed, but improvement to your infrastructure comes at a cost. And that cost, the landlord does not take the cost unless he is probably my landlord, who's just a real nice guy. But in reality, you don't take that cost. That cost is passed on to the tenant, right? So PNM is fully aware that if they upgraded the infrastructure, the cost would now be passed on to the tenants.
And Obi, again, I want to join in again with this one. Because
Go ahead.
You're right again. But you know why they do not want to upgrade it? They don't care what we do there. They're still going to vote for we. They're still going to vote for
right.
we.
And
so if we pay in the we ain't paying there, we know they have a housing scheme, they're paying less money. That's all the concern about. We have a less rent when the month reach.
Yes, but there's a reason for that. You see, they're not upgrading it means they don't get the voter base annoyed.
Yeah.
Getting their voter base annoyed, the voter base can't hold them to ransom.
True.
With, you do upgrade, replace, we go get vex and riot.
No.
Because the voter base enjoys the cheapest form of rent in the country. The rent is cheap, right? All they have to do, because HGC still holds the biggest card, which means if you don't vote for us, we will evict you. And we'll put people there who will appreciate $350 rent, and all they have to do is vote for the PNM. So they don't upset their voter base because they know that their voter base is super dependent on that $350 rental apartment. Right?
$100.
$100 because they created that dependency syndrome on them.
Yep.
Now you would think because so many of them, and I know there are many of them who did use the fact that the rent was low properly, but there are many others who cry poverty on a daily basis when their rent is $350 or less. They don't have current to pay, but if you go into their room right next to the mattress that they have on the ground, you'll see 6 Jordan sneakers, a gold chain, and all the latest Hennessy drinks and alcoholic beverages you could find, along with the weed and the cigarette. You're not seeing upgrades to the infrastructure. You're not seeing them in business. You're not seeing them having 2-3 cars because the right thinking. Let's be honest and talk to the critical tax-paying citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, because I want you all to understand what you all are in and why you all should be extremely annoyed, but you're not. The taxpayers pay, the critical thinking taxpayers who truly contribute to society pays rent at $2,000, $3,000, right? They also contribute by purchasing soft drinks, food, stuff like that. When you have an individual that is getting $350 rent or less, he is not paying it, or she is not paying it. They have current connected, right? And they are not paying for that also. They have a grant or a food card. They are part of a ghost gang. I want the general public to understand the critical thinking people, the people who are going out there working hard every day to pay that rent for $2,000 and $3,000. So you're pushing yourself to make over $6,000, $7,000 a month. And when you make that money, here comes a taxman to tell you, pay as you earn. Those people who have the subsidized rent of $350 and $150 and all these things, they're not hitting that pay as you earn bracket. Not all of them. The majority of them are not hitting there. You are hitting there. When you hit there and pay as you earn, man pass and takes your $1,000 from you or your $500 from you for pay as you earn, your pay as you earn is then being used to enable that individual who is enjoying rent for $350 and it's not being upgraded, who is getting a food card, who is getting public assistance, who is getting rental assistance, and all these different things. That is coming out from you. And that is why I've told many people in this country, you are punished for doing well in life. Because the higher you climb, is the larger the taxman is there to take more from you. But when you have a certain subsect of society that is below that tax belt, and all they have to do to stay where they are is stay loyal to the PNM. The PNM knows we don't need to work. Because we know that if they don't vote for us, we could take away their homes. If they don't vote for us, we could come and fix the infrastructure and raise the rent. So the deal is, stay in your poverty, stay in your squalor, stay in your disarray, but enjoy low rent, right, off of the taxpayers of Trinidad and Tobago back, right? Enjoy stealing current and running current all over the place, and you will not have a problem doing that, because guess what? PNM ministers don't like to pay the bill too. They don't like to pay the bill too. So we see where they're learning it from. And now you have a minister going through these buildings one by one, and he is finding in real time what the PNM has used for decades to control their voter base in Trinidad and Tobago, where those apartments are concerned. There are many citizens across Trinidad and Tobago who make a good earning salary every month of hard-working, critical thinking people who have their names signed up in HGC for decades, waiting to get a home. But when you look at them, their names for some strange reason could never call to get a home. But when you look at the majority of the people who AGC list does pull, is always people from the ghetto. That is not by chance. Because if you, and I want you to understand this, Kingsley, if you are a man that every single month you know that you have to give a landlord $2,500, you have to give T&Tech $200, and you have to give B-Mobile and Digicel for internet $300. And your salary requires you to make the minimum of $7,000 to $8,000 to maintain your lifestyle and still have extras outside of that. And you have been doing that for almost all your life, Kingsley. Your landlord never had to complain about your rent being late. Your bills paid on time. And then all of a sudden, you hit the lotto. In the sense of HGC call you and say, Kingsley, there's your opportunity, brother. You get a house or you get an apartment. This is your mortgage. This is how much you have to pay every month. Would you, Kingsley, miss a payment when HGC give you a home?
No.
Why?
Because I have to pay my mortgage and my thing on time.
Right. But why won't you miss it?
Well, I have a job.
Not only that, you've been cultured to pay it on time because you were a renter paying it on time all the time before.
Understand.
So it's already in you to prioritize your mortgage and your home. But how many times, Kingsley, have we seen videos of HDC going into certain communities and kicking poor people out? You ever ask yourself why? Because when they want to do the voter padding, when you pull me from a place where, let's just say, I live in the ghetto all the time, I was living in a plannings, a relocation, but I custom not paying rent. I custom with my rent being $350 a month. But all of a sudden, I get a relocation or I get a house or I get something else. And AGC is telling me, well, listen, your mortgage is $2,500 a month. When you sign up for it, you agree to pay it, you know. But you figured, when I get the place, I go just do what I was accustomed doing before. Not paying on time or paying at all. And then before you know it, AGC in front of your door, when they get a VAPS to break in and take out your stuff and put you out. The reason for that, people, is this. PNM will never give homes to critical thinking people in the masses. And there's a reason for that, because when you are a critical thinker who pays your bills on time and understands that you have a certain mandate to do certain things, it also means that when you walk into the voting booth, you will not just vote off of Greater ZPNM and This Is the Rising Sun. You will pay attention to the papers. You will pay attention to the things happening in your community. You'll pay attention to the things happening to your country. You'll pay attention to the GDP. And you will make a sound decision based on how you see the country going. PNM does not benefit from people like that. PNM want people who would just walk inside and say, Eric William, give me an apartment for $300 and something. So I vote in PNM. PNM never raised my rent. PNM never come to see why I not pay my current. PNM never, and then we go there, Camille never come to see if me pay my bill. Penny never come to see if I run 10 lines through my apartment complex and give everybody else current. Nobody ever came, Kingsley, to visit, to see what was going on. Because why would I come to enforce the rules when enforcing the rules forces you to walk into a booth and say, you know, Camille, come and jumbie me for sharing current to Kingsley. So here what going on. To hell with PNM this time. I vote in UNC. They will never upset the ecosystem. And that is what Philip is doing right now. Philip is upsetting an ecosystem that has been cultured by PNM for decades. So I'm telling you all this, in the coming weeks, Philip is going to find a lot more of them. And if he's keeping track of the numbers, which I know he's doing, you all are going to be shocked to see how many unregistered apartments that he finds that people have been living in for free for decades. All under the beautiful umbrella of great is the PNM, and we shall prevail.
The voting bank.
I want all you to pay attention to that. This is how they did it. It is broken by design. They leave those people in poverty and squalor on purpose, and they hold them to ransom by not upgrading their infrastructure, and with them always looming with that desperation of, if I go against them, they'll take my home away from me. So with that, people, we will go to a quick break. Well, for a matter of fact, let me open up the phone lines. Let me take some calls on this quick, and I'll run the break in the end. So people, there's all the opportunity to call in.
Call Talk City 91.1 FM now, 622-4911. WhatsApp us at 394-4911.
Caller, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Obi and Kingsley. Right. So, all the houses that they had, them highway houses and things, any of the PNM constituencies?
If they in your,
PNM constituencies?
if there's PNM constituency, what is that, the plannings on them?
Yeah, most of the houses and them like what have Meloni.
Yeah. In their
Right,
constituencies.
good. So we see now where the reason why they live in the place now, in this dilapidated condition now, they're fixing no pipe, they're doing nothing at all, the place leaking. And then we see, how come the people and them still voting PNM?
Because you see now, the reason why they're still voting PNM is because even though it's in a dilapidated condition, it's a dilapidated condition where they pay 300, 200 for rent or not pay at all, and nobody's coming to investigate and take it from them. So they're worried that if they raise an ant's nest to get it fixed, they will be threatened that it will be taken away from them. So because of that, they accept the mediocrity.
I'm so glad that Mr. Alexander, he going through every one of them, and you're going to see what you're saying there, who are paying no current, who are paying no water bill, who are paying a cent when the month up. And when you look at the place, the condition of the place, it's a dilapidated condition, and they're still voting the PNM. So we know the reason why now the people and them voting the PNM, although the place is in this condition.
Yeah.
It would be nice program. You go to the head of the class. You're talking the thing, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, the truth does offend, but the truth will always be the children. What have been hidden in the dark
must come to the light.
And now is the time. Thank you, Philip Alexander. You're doing a wonderful job. I hope God bless you and protect you in all ways there. I'm not listening.
Thanks, caller. Caller, good afternoon.
Caller, you're live.
Obi, good night.
Yeah, good night, too.
Yes, and the bigger elephant in the room is that these people are a burden to the taxpayers.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And that is why I said, if taxpayers really looked at it, taxpayers have a reason. Taxpayers should be furious with these people, but they're not.
Correct.
Because they don't understand what is taking place.
We spent hundreds of millions to build a housing complex. You buy it at a reduced price. You ain't paying no rent. And then I still had to come and spend millions of dollars to refurbish it.
And you're stealing current. And you're stealing current on top of that too. And you're giving current to people. You have illegal connections.
Correct. So it's a burden on the taxpayers.
Yeah. But again, PNM doesn't mind you being a burden on the taxpayers as long as you vote for them.
Vote for them. Correct. All right. Enjoy your night.
Yeah, brother. Caller, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Obi and Kingsley, right?
Good afternoon, yeah.
All right. So I have a comment to make. See, when you say taxpayers, right? Do you file your annual tax return with the Trinidad government?
If I just file it, If I just file the tax return, I filed tax returns many times in my life.
Okay, but do you file it annually? Because I'll tell you something. The vast majority of people in Trinidad don't file personal returns because they make such less amount of income that they don't qualify to file taxes. And that's the majority of people who live in the informal sector. They don't use credit cards and you know, they have no small business. They just deal in cash. And if they do have a business, they're selling veggies in the corner or something in the corner. But they most likely don't file tax returns.
Right.
But we do pay value-added tax to the people who are selling the goods to us, right?
Right.
The supermarket. And at the end of the year, they get a VAT refund from the government.
Right.
The government reimburses them that refund.
Right.
So the money we're spending going to the rich people in this country who set in these standards for how we live. But I want to go to how it goes to the HDC house now, you see. Philip Alexander did a great thing, especially when he showed the video of those HDC housing development where there was the whole electrical board, everything was missing meters, and they had this like illegal setup, you know. But if you look at the surrounding, it was unkept. And I do believe that a lot of these HDC housing house gangs. And I would bet that if you trace the money with some of these people who work in high-level government office, who do inspections, oversight, community outreach or whatever, they're always somehow linked to a political person in power. And I say this because the newspaper, the Express, published 3 or 4 pages of all these people who work in the government and they fail to file or submit documents that show their financial reporting. They wouldn't disclose their finances to the government. They refuse. And that should be cause for a firing or termination. You know what I mean? If you're sitting on a board and you fail to submit your... But these people ride it till the end of the election, and if they lose office, well, they don't care if they thief because they're not building country. They don't care about country. They care about pockets.
Yep.
And so when we treat people like this, like we put them in substandard housing, it's a way of life and it's a way of thinking. So I listened to what Obi said, and Obi, you did make sense. It's a mindset. And this morning, there was another radio dial was talking about consciousness. Like we have to be conscious of who we are, where we come from, and what we want to do for the future of our country. And we are in the driver's seat right now. You know, you guys are in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Because we got the UNC in the office now, and we have the power to direct them and direct Philip Alexander and anybody else. So this is what we want you to work on now. This is what the public wants.
Yeah.
And forget about the distractions about race and all that nonsense. Because we know where we're going. Kingsley, we know where we're going, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I'm going to leave it right. I don't want to leave it right because there's
Great
another
contribution, caller, and thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
UNC and proud.
Good evening, Brother
Good
Obi
afternoon. Good
and
afternoon,
Kingsley,
brother.
Yes, man.
Trinidad and Tobago. Let's be united. Bring our love. Bring back the old time days. And see, we can make the change in Jesus' name. Obi,
Yeah.
is you talking?
And hold on, UNC and proud. Hold on, UNC and proud. The Cow Squad and the team on the YouTube. I don't mind all you beating up my beautiful Princess Reed, but oh God, if all you beating, put some plaster and a little rub a little lotion now, boy. Oh God, boy, all you sharing licks, red licks inside of the chat, boy. Oh God, give she a little lotion now. Don't jam, she's so hard all here. Right, go ahead, UNC, I'm proud.
You see, Kingsley, you know this very well. We're talking about Obi and you. When you see when time for election, they say they're buying votes, they pay for votes. See who is the party that put people to vote for them as voter bank. When they build the 2 piece of building down in John the foot by Picton Day.
Yeah.
Some John something building. How they build it like with all description with people in mind. There is a show for Diego Martin.
Yeah.
Go straight to Toko. See where they put all them to stick them on the East-West corridor because they're splitting them, their constituency to stay in power. That way Rowley can run and declare the election 2026 that the PNM win 13 seats. You know why? Because that is and just before election last year, AGC come in, and that is the threat that's come before them and tell them, here what's going on. When they're checking the list, like Santa Claus, you checking it twice, they can show you on the naughty list or the bad list and hold them to ransom. And the special works program and all that is to keep them there. So they pay them to vote for them, so they get the treasury to run away. And you see the kind of enrichment they get for themselves and get them the pittance. That's what we just talk about. There's the crumbs on the table. That's the crumbs falling out. And anytime they open their mouth, they hush up. They just hush them up. Now they want them same people to come out to defend them for not answering to how they build bodies their house. I'll call them back after in the next program to be continued.
Because we had to go to the break now. But people, we're going to the break quick and into the play with draw, and we will be back shortly. So y'all stay in the chat and be nice. Be nice. See you all.
More news. Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Ticket Front with Officer Shabadi. Go Beyond Limits with Roland Stewart. Drive Home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the #1 talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health, and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today. Exclusively on TTT.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Ticket Front with Officer Shabadi. Go Beyond Limits with Roland Stewart. Drive Home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the #1 talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health, and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today. Exclusively on TTT.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Ticket Front with Officer Shabadi. Go Beyond Limits with Roland Stewart. Drive Home home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the #1 talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Ramala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today. Exclusively on TTT.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Ticket Front with Officer Shabadi. Go Beyond Limits with Roland Stewart. Drive Home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the #1 talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Ramala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today. Exclusively on TTT.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Ticket Front with Officer Shabadi. Go Beyond Limits with Roland Stewart. Drive Home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the #1 talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Ramala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today. Exclusively on TTT.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Ticket Front with Officer Shabadi. Go Beyond Limits with Roland Stewart. Drive Home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the number one talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health, and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today. Exclusively on TTT.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Ticket Front with Officer Shabadi. Go Beyond Limits with Roland Stewart. Drive Home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the number one talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health, and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today. Exclusively on TTT.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Ticket Front with Officer Shabadi. Go Beyond Limits with Roland Stewart. Drive Home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the number one talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health, and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today. Exclusively on TTT.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Take it front with Officer Shabadi. Go beyond limits with Roland Stewart. Drive home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the #1 talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health, and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today. Exclusively on TTT.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like
Yes, and we are back for the second hour, 91.1 Talk City FM. We wrap it up with Obi and Kingsley. We are discussing HDC and the corruption, the neglect, and the entitlement that is taking place when it comes to this in HDC situation and its tenants. So we were taking calls, and we're going to open back that phone line for you all but I want to go to something that the caller, because it was part of my chain of thought, and I want to tell the caller, thank you for reminding me. Taxpayers in this country, and I've said, I know this is a line that you all would have heard me say many times, but I like to drive that home because certain nails I like to keep ponging it. And this nail is a nail that I pong all the time, which is the reason why taxpayers don't truly get angry in this country is because there isn't a man showing up in front of your door to physically take the money from your hands. So imagine, and I'm creating this scenario here because you all know I like my devil's advocate. Imagine Kingsley stealing current, right? Imagine Kingsley stealing current. And because Kingsley is stealing current, I decide, okay, Kingsley stealing current today, but I don't want Kingsley evicted because every time I look at the EBC, Kingsley is a loyal, well, boy, I don't even want, Kingsley is a loyal UNC because I feel about it say PNM, he not chip off. So Kingsley is a loyal UNC supporter. And I say in my head, boy, but Kingsley paying the rent, Kingsley thieving current, and based on the speed I see, Kingsley gain people current too. But I can't touch him because Kingsley does vote PNM, and Kingsley had 6 other people living in the house. He girl and all the rest are cheering, and all of them within the voting age to vote UNC. So I can't upset Kingsley, but I want my money. So what I decide to do? I say, you know what? Let Kingsley live his life because Kingsley has voted for me. But you see this man named Barack Poe? Barack Poe is a renter. But I can't even use Barack Poe now. I call it all the people. Barney who does watch we program every day and go on YouTube channel and talk about we. Imagine Barney, right? Purple dinosaur. Barney does vote PNM religiously, right? And I vex because I want Barney to vote UNC. But Barney ain't voting UNC for nothing. So here what I decide to do. I decide to send Obi to Barney house to take $1,000 from Barney as Barney get paid. And I show up in front of Barney house and say, hey Barney, here going on. Pay as you earn, you know, brother. Pay as you earn. Now Barney is thinking to himself that he is just paying a contribution for his hard work because he's a higher tax bracket to pay. But what Barney doesn't know is that I don't have to take $1,000 from Barney, you know. All I have to do is take 5 from Barney, you know. But all I require for me to take 5 from Barney is Kingsley to contribute to the society by paying the rent that is $200 and paying the light bill that is $300. But Kingsley don't like to pay. But I can't upset the ecosystem that Kingsley accustomed to. Because Kingsley just vote for me. So Barney had to take one for the team. Barney's salary had to get touched. And where I only need 5 from Barney, I taking 10. Taking 10, I taking 1,000. I only need 5, you know. But I taking 1,000. Because guess what? I can't upset my ecosystem. But Barney don't vote for me. And I want all you to understand that all you critical thinking taxpayers, all you people who go out there and toil hard and get your salary into these tax brackets and you don't have a house from under this government. You don't have an apartment from any government. You apply to AGC since your children was newborn and now your children and them working too. And you still ain't get the house. But you're watching people around you who do half of what you do in life and crying poverty the most, living in places and don't want to pay rent. And you asking yourself, what I do wrong in this life? Like I've been grabbing the loose stick into my hands all my life. Every time you grab that stick, it's brown in your hand. And you're wondering why. Well, let me tell you what is the answer to that. The answer is you don't vote PNM. And that is just what it is in a nutshell. There is a group of people who benefit from towing the line in the sand. And yes, you might think, but Obi, how PNM would know that I just vote PNM religiously? PNM voter base, they're not stupid. They know who is the people. They know. They know. That is why Scotland could have write a letter. They know. They are fully aware. But you know how the Afro community going to interpret it? Obi, you're fighting down your own. Why you don't let poor people live? So what wrong with if the minister sign up for me to get a house and I'm not paying rent? You're too wicked, you're too bad mind, you're trying to fight me down just because you doing a little better in life than me. But you don't want to accept that what you're doing is wrong because like I say, when you talk accountability with the PNM voter base, when accountability coming running towards them just turn and run the next way, you know, Kingsley.
Yep.
Fast too. And then you sitting down, and I told people, if it was up to me, and if Philip Edward Alexander and them listening now, I know this go cause an uproar, boy, because, and I know it go have people, good thinking people, all going to get vexed with me. I'm going to piss off critical thinking people this afternoon. But what I say makes so much sense. You always say, yeah, you know, Obi, you're right, eh? But boy, you go piss off some poor people and you go piss off some critical thinking people this afternoon. If it was up to me, Kingsley, I scrap the whole of HDC and revamp it over. And you know what I would have done? I would have told citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, because most people in Trinidad and Tobago just keep their rent receipts. I would have told people of Trinidad and Tobago, we'd have roll it out across the nation to cut out the crowd. Bring in your rental receipts, and if you are paying anything within the range of $25,000 to $4,000 in rent, and you have been a tenant for over 2 years, 3 years, or you could show paperwork where you've been renting from before, we are going to give you first preference to either getting a home or getting an apartment. And let me tell you why I would have done that, Kingsley. Going back to how we started the conversation with you. A person who has been paying rent all their life will not miss a payment. They might run late, but they ain't missing the payment because they know if they miss, the landlord go put them out. So imagine, you know how they like to say rent money is dead money.
Yep.
But you just still make sure and pay that dead money, because if you don't pay the dead money, you'll end up on the streets with your family. So imagine now if you were given an opportunity to pay $2,500 or $3,000, but you're getting to own an apartment or you're getting to own a home that you could pass down to your children. Would you miss that payment if you are cultured to always pay rent for decades? The answer is no, Kingsley. But when you take people who not accustomed paying rent, or not accustomed paying $3,500 or $2,500 for a 2-bedroom apartment, which is market value, because they've been sitting in apartments that is $200 and $300 rent for decades, and then for some strange reason the apartment becomes uninhabitable. So they write AGC for relocation, and AGC relocate them to a fancy new community. But AGC say, guess what? For this fancy new community, your rent is $1,000, you know. But you scratching your head because you are accustomed paying $200 and $300 or not paying at all. So now you have to step up to the plate. But you can't step up to the plate because you get sweet on living on cheap rent. You're starting to watch, but wait now. When I get paid, and it's not that you ain't making any money, you know. You're making the money that you could afford to pay $2,500 for an apartment, you know. But guess what? You get sweet on cheap rent. So you start to scratch your head, but wait now. If I pay HDC $1,000, I can buy a Jordan. If I pay HDC $1,000, I can buy no bundles this month. My lashes is $450. So all of a sudden, you chance it. I ain't go pay no rent and see what go happen. HGC say, wait now, Kingsley ain't pay this month. They'll allow you. 2 months Kingsley ain't pay, HGC call you. What going on by Kingsley, boy? Kingsley saying, yeah, boy, screw them, boy. Me pay no money years now. And then all of a sudden, HGC show up in front of your door with Philip to pull you out. And you're scratching your head. And out comes the people in the towel. Oh, you wicked!
Wicked crew.
You ain't say wicked! Oh, you interfere with poor people! But it's poor people not paying. And they're burdening the taxpayers. And if the taxpayers, the critical thinkers, was given first preference, we would pay. Because one, that generational wealth, you could pass on that to your children. A house is something you could pass on, an apartment is something you could pass on. And two, I am accustomed paying on time. So I will pay HDC the money, because there's a difference with me paying on time for something that I would never own and me paying for something that I will own. I will not be late. And with that being said, callers, we open the phone line again. Call in.
91.1 FM now. 622-4911. WhatsApp us at 394-4911.
Caller, good afternoon.
Good evening, Obi.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good evening, Kingsley.
Eric.
So, Obi, you believe the society is unjust, right?
Yes. I believe to a certain point it's unfair. Not across the board.
Obi, let me tell you something. A government being able to take care of the least in the society is essential for social stability and also for upward mobility of the offspring that come out of that family. Let me say this to you. If you want to compare and contrast, from 1975 to the time Manning closed it down in the year 2002, somewhere around there, the government was paying $3 million a day to Purple Carney Limited. Carney workers closed down. Carney workers got one residential lot, and they got 2 acres for agricultural land. Most of them are selling the land, and in addition to that, they're selling their residential lot. To residential lot, they sell it for about 500 and more. And the 2 other one, if they get 250, sometimes 350 as the way it's okay, they sell that too. All right? Now, let me talk about on just again. The Agricultural Development Bank. Go and examine the books and see how much things going on inside it that if you hold it, you hold your head on your ball. See how much people get money, never plant, never repay, and get money again and again and again. Go and see who it is. I'll tell you something, Obi, and I want you to listen to it very carefully. Stop denigrating little people with the little that they get. Because if a little man has a house, his child has the opportunity to have electricity, to sit down in the evening to do their homework, to become an engineer, to become a doctor, could become a builder in one way or the other of the society in which they live. At the end of the day, what we want to do, we want to create a better society for us all to live in.
Okay, then.
This country called Trinidad and Tobago is a nanny state. Everybody gets from the treasury.
Okay.
Even the rich man too, land, all kind of things, they get from the treasury. Why are you downing on the little African for the little bit that he gets?
Well, okay, Eric, listen off here and I'll explain. So let's go to how you started, because I know you would have called. Let me go to how you started. You said, why am I downing on the little man for getting for something in his community? And I want Kingsley to weigh in on this too, right? Because you said, the little man, right, will use what he gets from his community to empower his children, and his children will go out to do great things. Eric, my question to you is this. How many of those black people in the community that are getting these discounted rent and discounted education and discounted current, they're not paying bills, how many great people from that society have they produced? And our callers call in, because Kingsley, we just see it. You and I just see it. I could tell you one thing, they produce a lot of great shooters. Them fellas could real shoot, boy, Kingsley, boy. They straight. They don't miss. Right?
Easy, yeah.
Watch now. The engineering skills. Hold on, UNC and proud. The engineering skills on point when watch now. They could tell you everything inside of an AR-15 and how it does operate. Right? They could tell you which block to swing on, how to execute a robbery. Some of them know how to break in your place, how to thief your car without anything going on. And that is a large portion of them. How many engineers? Not only that, but you're saying now the poor man, the man on the ground, getting an opportunity to have certain things, right? But if the poor man on the ground, if you're saying that the government's mandate is to take care of the poor, and I am giving you the lowest form of rent, the lowest form of housing, and you still not paying it, then you are not a productive person to the society. You are draining the society, because you are contributing very little to the society off of the taxpayers' backs, and you are crying poverty, right? Because you are being enabled. Nobody is challenging you to work harder, and in some cases you are working harder, but you're not contributing. You're cheating the system.
And that way, Eric calling to support.
And this is the point I'm trying to make. You want to talk about agriculture bank, okay? Eric, if all that thieving is going on in the agriculture bank, you are telling me in no time in the PNM history of being in government, the PNM didn't look at the agricultural bank? So is it a case that the agricultural bank has some kind of force field around it that PNM can look into the agricultural bank and see what is going on where land and all these things is being taken?
You want UNC do what now? Let me take UNC I'm proud now. But you want Obi, you want
UNC I'm proud. Go ahead,
he
brother.
He want UNC to fix that now.
No, Olive, go ahead. I'll listen.
Yes.
I'll hold the line. Continue.
Right.
Continue.
Right.
Continue. I'll jump in just now. Continue.
So you're trying because I want to know if by chance the Minister of Homeland Security, do you have officers stationed around the agriculture building, right? That and even Mr. Guevara before the PNM lost the election, Commissioner Guevara, did you have officers lined up around the agriculture building that the PNM couldn't go in there and see what Stephen Land and all the chaos that was going on inside of there? Because, Eric, if you are asking for accountability for these places based on stuff that is going on there, PNM had that opportunity to take accountability and action, and they didn't do nothing, which is what we are trying to say is what PNM is accustomed doing with HGC and all these different things. They don't take accountability with these issues because it benefits a certain portion of the society, and the portion of the society that it benefits are their loyal voter base. And that is just facts.
Yeah.
You're trying to tell me that when a poor man could afford to keep lights on for his children to eat and drink, I'm not saying no, but at what cost? So you're trying to tell me that because he didn't apply himself, because I know the angle all they go play, Obi, everybody learns differently. Not everybody's cut out for books. But even if you're not cut out for books, you cannot tell me the end all of you not being cut out for books is just, I will sit down home, I'll steal current, I wouldn't pay my rent because I didn't educate myself. But guess what? According to Eric, because my lifestyle is that my child will grow up to be an engineer and a doctor, the answer is no, because that is not what is happening. If the child around you is seeing that their parents breaks the rules, you really think that them coming to do different? Children emulate who they see. And the biggest person in your family to emulate does be your parents, Eric. You're talking madness, brother. Go ahead, UNC and proud.
After a good evening again to each and everyone. In Jesus' name. That is the kind of devil this. Eric doesn't want to come. But here, listen, Eric. According to my radio name. Eric, the one who does contribute. Here what's going on. Estonia in Cuba. See the kind of the sift the PNM supporters and they put them there. The one who they give work. Cashew Garden, see who they put. They put the one who is URP and CPEP. See, in Castlefield, who they give? They give the one who there's only work URP. They can offer better. And then they go from the Go Martin. Who the UNC gave land tenureship when the PNM is running them out by? The PNM is running the supporters out at the Go Martin all on the coming up the road there. Who the UNC Miss Kamala Prasad Mr. Sagidem did a comfort by? Yeah, let me go. We're going up here now. The whole of Lavantil, how much of them have deed for Lavantil? How much of them have all in the Baka, Mova, all them places? They have deed? No, boy. But let me come up the road now. Look at it's St. Augustine. Look what they're doing. All in the hill, all this quarter, Cora Valley. Let me go again now. We're going down 5 rivers by all this quarter area. Who is it? And let me go Valencia now by Eric. All who squatted up there by. And now they're going on the Savannah, the reserve. And let me come south. Obi, Labre, all of Petrician Heritage Land, all in the area. Who have it by Eric? And yesterday cried, we ain't getting nothing. Don't play all there. But Eric, let me ask all of that. I just had to pay for street light on my light bill. And I already have street light in my area. Why I have to pay for it in your area? You just don't pay tax, I just had to fill up my tank and pay road improvement for people who pay insurance and license and driving on the road. And when we put the measures in place for everybody to be equal, and then Marvin come and say, the 5 billion debt in TNTech, who's supposed to say it? Me? Is all I use it. You see, that was for subsidized, given inducement for voted by. Eric, when Camille, the telecom workers are them, that money from the EU is not them owned, is the state owned. Don't let how much years the PNM, the private same carry workers to get the land. How much of them dead are they getting, boy? Petrol workers just the other day. They go say they give them land and they give them. Eric, they react now, boy. Eric will give them. They went up in the air because they stored all of the put on a lot of land, boy. one lot of land, check it, 100 by 50, see what apartment, 10 apartments, see what of them living one on top of the other. That's why Eric William wanted all here. From Eric William time to Rowley time now, boy. But here we're going, Eric. When you talk about East Indian get land, right? They work it, they hold it. You know that the African brothers and sisters that land in Moruga, the whole of Moruga was owned by African people and the estate of them. Let me go back to the history now. Do you know that Shagaramas coming up the East-West corridor, all Cora and Opido, you know it's African people who had once own estates up there? Eric, who move it? Eric William tell them, come off the land is stigma. Come and do Dr. Eric William dread duty. Come and work for 10 days and be happy. Come and take a government work and come on the land. So Eric, when you're talking thing that you're going to empower the people because far too long, or let's cry the sympathy race, or they get in, as all account of power. So you know why? Focus on all you know. And that what the PNM, when they elect them to run away the treasury, they neglect the supporters. And when the UNC come, we have to fix all here because it's discrimination. That all set it up. But this Prime Minister is equal across the board. And Eric answer, call back and say that if Camille give all of the carry workers the land, and that is why Saddam now fighting to get them. Have a pleasant evening, Obi, and thank you.
Yeah, man. You have a voice note here.
Hey, Obi, good evening. Here now, you know, you wouldn't believe this, sir. You know, you have an apartment in Cookery there in Harding Place. You know, as your rent is people is paid it and owing for 10, 15, 20 years, $50 a month. $50 a month they pay, and they been paying for 10, 15, 20 years.
Look, somebody saying behind the bridge here, he had a friend who used to work AGC. He don't work there no more. He said people over here in the bridge was paying $25 a month. Caller, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Obi and Kingsley.
Yeah.
I call to correct Eric has been saying this over and over on other stations about carrying workers. That was a VSEP package. And when they didn't get it, they went to court. The judge said they have to get their land and whatever payment. Up to now, I have relatives, a lot of people up to now get one lot of land. And you see that way, because when you talk about Obi, they put that, it have no road, no water, no lights. I had relatives, they put in barrel of water to go. They can't even do gardening. By the time you reach this dirt road, it's shaking up water falling. Eric know this, you know, but he just want to play. And I want them to know, carrying workers work hard from morning to night or whatever shift they're coming out. Those people who he's talking about, they're lazy. Mr. Manning had a lot of program. They never want to go. Them youth never want to go. They want to line on block and line here and line there. You can't compare them to carrying workers. And I am telling you up to now, is a good bit of people. Some of them die waiting for that land. Mr. Manning didn't give them because John Rahal let them close on Caroni. They didn't give them. They had to go to court to get it. Then Kamala Prasad says come in 5 years. They say there's a lot of work to be done because it have no road, no infrastructure, no lights, nothing like that, no water. How the people will go there? So the few of them who have no money and want, they will be selling for people who can afford to run their own thing, you know? They're telling me about all of them far. So I don't know what Eric is. So he does always say this over and over. Compare them to that. I would like if somebody could go in and see the kind of land them people get. That up to now they do no work inside here. They say they get money and the EU send money for the workers and the farmers. And all of them government, they take the money, they never do infrastructure and leave the people hanging up to now. So I don't know what Eric want to talk about them people. The people he talking about, they're lazy. Why they didn't want their 2 forces? They just want to sit down and block lime and smoke and idle and want hand out. And them is the people he fighting for. So he can't compare them to the carrying workers. All of them waiting up to now for the land, and plenty of them die. You know, they go get or they wouldn't get none. You know, long here, I know one thing, a lot of the young ones living by in-laws, they're waiting for that land to build a house, to move out with their wife and children. Up to now, they get it. Look for my, you know when that closed down? 2003. 2003, Mr. Manning closed down that. And they're waiting up to now. Look, it's 2026 now. to 23 years. And Eric just want to come and talk about them lazy, good for nothing. And the next thing, let me tell you, all them ladies he's talking about, they're spending money by hairdresser to cover the African hair. The hairdresser tell me, she say, she will do your African one. She say she does style she own here, but if they want to come and do she the money, she could take it. She say, if you see money, them they spend to cover that African hair, to do all kind of fall and straighten and all them things. How they have money to do all them things? And they can't have money to save and do it for themselves. Thank you very, very much.
Okay, then, caller. Thank you. What's that? Eric Geshi hot, you know. Because you see, it's a certain level of absurdity in what he said. Because if you are, listen, my point is this: with the rate of how their rent is, their productivity is supposed to be extremely high. And this is why when you hear me say black people have so much potential, that if they tap into that pipeline, because I'm telling you, Kingsley, if my rent is $25, $50, $200, and I land a good job that paid $6 and $7 and $8 or $9 or even $10,000, ain't no way you seeing Jordan and thing in my house. The most you might see is business. I looking to flip money like thing ain't good. Become a rent cheap. Rent cheap. So how these people always crying poverty? They always have to get CPEP and Europe in the community, and your rent so cheap.
But Obi, I want to go back where the woman say that because she make a good point, and they will look at her as a racist by saying right. She said that the African ladies are paying so much money to hide
the original hair.
The original hair.
Yeah, and is it true?
A strong statement she making.
Yeah. Caller, good afternoon.
Afternoon. Obi and Kingsley, me again.
Yeah, bro.
I'm in my 40s, right? And back then growing up, the East Indians used to come to school and come to work with the sada and thing wrap up. You understand? Some of them, they used to study under candlelight. And majority of the doctors back then was East Indians. Majority of the doctors, lawyers back then was East Indians. So what excuse Eric making for these people?
Especially people who rent was so cheap. Yeah. Especially with your rent being so cheap. Yeah.
Understand? All they're studying to do is when they come to work, they're going and buy pie, leaving a bill by the person who's selling food.
No, you have to start how they start, how most of them start the day. They have to bill a weed. They have to bill a weed.
Correct.
You understand? If that weed don't bill, they have to smoke that weed 2-3 times a day. They have to bill a weed. Right? Majority of the money that your rent cheap, you ain't paying no current, but so you have more money. And this is why I tell people it broken by design. You ain't paying your rent low. You're thinking, so guess what? Most of your money going into brand name clothing, right? Brand name clothing. You're making sure and support your all the 1% fast food outlets and them.
Yeah.
Right? And you're making sure that you visit your man on the block and get your herbs.
Correct.
And Eric talking about a poor man child could come out to be an engineer and thing. If that is the case, then it's supposed to be in mass production. Mass.
Majority of the people don't feel it and beat them. They do pay electricity bill. They do not.
You don't have to tell me that, bro. I was there. You don't have to tell me that I was there.
Correct. And I know that for a fact. I used to be down there too. So I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact. But Eric keep pushing this narrative and he needs to come off of that. And that's why we people because we keep making excuse for them and instead of lifting them up and falling out the wrong.
For real.
You understand? They are burden on society. You can't be check it out. You spend $600 million to build a housing scheme. You're charging them $350 a month rent. No way you making back that money within 100 years. On top of that, they're not paying the rent. When you have to bring a man to do any work there, a man charging you $500 a day pay, and you have $350 rent, and you owing 20 years rent? Nah, man. You can't make an excuse for that. If Philip started to go wrong, right?
You don't have no choice, Reed.
He coming to renovate all up Maloney and thing, but come with all your receipts. everybody going and get quiet right now. And that's what you need to do.
And that's what going on. That's what I'm telling you is a shake-up coming.
I would like to know if all she builds up to date. Of Maloney. I would like to know if she builds up to date. But enjoy the night. I will leave
Thank you, brother.
somebody else to call in.
Yeah. Caller, good afternoon.
Yeah, we'll be again. And what the scholar just said here, right? So when the Indians and them, they go into school, they carry this out here and what. That's still happening to those who have a big job like the lawyers and what. They will carry their food to work, and they will eat a little, they and they might go and throw a tomato soup, which is good food.
Yeah.
I love that too bad. And they saving the, so they grow up now knowing how to save.
Yeah.
But the others know every day they buy lunch. You understand? And then now I come back to what it is you say. What after Eric talk, them paying no money. Right? And what it is that they produce them.
And that is what I'm saying. If the rent so low, you in some the rent low, and in some cases you're not paying at all. Plus your different current. So that is two major bills you don't offset, right? Your productivity supposed to be extremely high. And listen, you're not supposed to tell me that you looking for CPAP and URP, because if you don't have that light bill to pay because you're different current, you're not paying the rent. A private sector job is more than enough money in your pocket.
Yes, and when you check it out now, you have the opportunity now to break that cycle
and expand on it. You're supposed to be investing in stocks. You're supposed to be having business, because guess what? There's a big portion of your income every month that done subsidized by somebody like me or Kingsley or somebody working harder. So you're supposed to have more.
Teach your children going to be business to be at least then to work to own up to make profit then, or send them to school to get a proper education then, so they could come out of that system.
And that is why I used to tell people when you're seeing them,
land and everything.
And that is why I used to tell people when you're seeing them with all these big gold chains and things, and you're wondering where they get any money to buy it from. That is how they get it. They really do pay for the chains out of their own little salary and jobs and thing, you know. Yes, it will have the ones who do a little wrong and get them on, but the majority of them does buy the stuff, you know, and this is how they buy it, because
the lifestyle they want.
The lifestyle they want. But guess what? When they live in that lifestyle, the minute something adjusts or something become harder, they just cry and make noise about it. You understand? But the taxpayers, we just feel it more. That is why I always say, you are punished for doing better in society.
Yeah, the time has come for a change, and a change coming, and whatever this government do to make things better, because it's too long taxpayers spending money, wasting money that you're not supposed to waste at all. Then they have an opportunity to make a change in that, to break that cycle, so the younger ones could get a proper education, learn to be good citizens. And all they producing now is shooters. And when Ms. Kamala here is a lawless from the man correct, but some of them can't take it enough, because she's correct enough. She's correct enough. I tell you, so fellas, only fit only doing a good job, and I support any change that coming there.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a voice.
Obi, good evening. One more thing here. I know this might be off from a topic, but I observed something there, right? You know, by the lighthouse, by Sealers there, right? The people are building right up by the pavement, on the pavement, right? I don't understand how come the government and the corporation thing allowing them people to build there, you know? Because them building right there, they getting current and everything right there, hook up from TNTech, right? If a car run off that road right, it's straight inside them house they go in.
Okay, so
and they're so close to the road, and like nobody taking note of that.
So to be fair, caller, one of those structures that are close to the street actually belongs to me. I don't live there anymore. I have a friend who lives there, and she built it over in concrete. The foundation was concrete, but it was wood. That is where I used to live as a child. She's one of the more constructive citizens of that community, and most of those places that were there were wooden structures, They were there for years. I knew the owners and the owners and the owners before that. Most of those places were either hand down by families from before, or in some cases by friends from before. My dad would have passed there, and my brother. And again, like I said, with my story, I made up my mind that I was not going to live in poverty anymore and have my children grow up in it. So I never went back, but I gave it to a friend who is raising a very brilliant young man in Silots there, and it's because she has to quarantine him inside all the time. Now, for many years, the government have been talking about relocation, and I am such a genuine person that if HGC was to come tomorrow and give her a home for that property, I'll let her take it. Some people might say, but it's your structure. If it have a house to come out of it, you should take it. I would give it to her because of the fact that I know what she has done with the place, and because I know that that is a place that she would love to escape from, but she doesn't have the financial capacity to do it in that way. But there are a lot of good people who live in some of those structures. I can't vouch for the whole community because I haven't been there in probably about 2 years max, 2 years or 3 years max. But I can vouch that those structures, a lot of them were wood, and these are just people upgrading them over the time, and the people who are upgrading them are the younger generation that has a different mindset, and they are forward thinking, so they go in from wood to concrete. So the way how you solve that problem, because trust me, I thank God every day that no cars never ran off there, because believe it or not, my room where I slept was literally, my room was by the pavement. So if a car came through, I was dead. And I thank God for that every day, that nobody ever ran off by the lower part of Silots. But in order for that to happen, the government will have to relocate them. But here, what is the problem with most people? Tongue life is a fast life and a hustle life. And most of these people, they depend on the city of Port of Spain to hustle. They sell snacks, they sell ice cream, they hustle ice. They are the lowest part of society, and they do the best they could with what they have. And I can tell you, education is something that is greatly missing from the community. So it doesn't really have a lot of pivot points for them, but they do okay because of the hustle in tongue. So it's very hard for the government to take them from that environment and put them somewhere else. So because that will be a very hard start over for a lot of them. And it is coming. It is coming because you remember we do have our mandate to develop the area. So, but I'm going to say for now, brother, they have no choice.
And I will tell you this, Obi, to beat them to see that. As I said there, I believe the older folks, they have a kind of lazy PNM mentality, but the younger ones,
generation not on that.
Doing something, because I can tell you, Obi, talk about 5 pools in Silat. You know that? 5 pool.
Yeah. I know them fellas build a pool. Cause my cousins and them my family spread out across Silat, you know. I have family on the upper half, the middle half, and the lower half, you know. And them fellas have swimming pool and big house.
Yes, big house.
And fed keeping every weekend. And they making money.
I'm tell this, and Obi, tell this, it have groceries inside it.
Yeah, they built Upper Silat by fisheries, built in a coexistent community in there. So they have their own clothes stores. They have groceries.
Man, and in talking that, man.
Because, well, listen, heavy tell me, Obi, don't talk too much of your business on air. But I can tell you for the upper part of Silots, a lot of the young fellas inside of they did really good. My cousins and them are some of the young men
the right part
from there.
Fisheries.
Because my dad was a fisherman. I know about going up fisheries and eating from the vendors and the stuff. That is why I tell you, to touch me in Port of Spain, you had to be a madman, because everybody knows me and tongue.
Waters people there, but most of them
gone.
They develop,
but
they develop the skills.
Now I'm going to tell you, the education level is still low, but they are good at hustling. They hustle. They've gone into hairdressing. They've made their community self-sufficient. And let me tell you something, it's working. It's just that they don't have the access to do it larger. And that is why I've said, if this government could go into those communities and break that hold that the PNM has over them and truly empower Afro-Trinbagonians, because let me tell you something about that community, Upper Silots there. From the clothes stores to the boutiques to everything. Now, they're killing Carnival in Port of Spain. And nobody hasn't been noticing it over the last few years. Over the last few years, Carnival in Port of Spain, Juve especially, has been dwindling. You want to know why? Because all those smaller communities and environs keeping zest and fetting their own communities. So they're Juve, starting from 12 and going whole day, whole night, whole day, whole night. They partying. And you're not seeing them in town. And it's for more than one reason. One, the true bad men and them can't leave to go, so they bring the fed to them. And by bringing the fed to them, they bring the revenue to them, they bring the income because people come in, they're buying drinks, they're walking with drinks, they're selling tickets. Yeah. So they have created a self-sufficient ecosystem for themselves, but it's not enough. And I'm telling you, the reason why the UNC has to go into these communities is because the PNM is aware of them being self-sufficient, but the PNM uses them for the wrong reason. And I'll give you a perfect example of that. Young brother. When young brother was jumping up and hopping in our room, sweating out himself in our vest, the PNM didn't care about our boy. They didn't care about his talent, his potential. I follow young brother since young brother, and I could tell you because we went the same school.
But Obi, I
want to say this quick. The minute he was an established artist, and I want to show you how PNM does do the optics. They went and they find him under the Myron's program. And they put him up on a stage and all of them make sure they surround themselves. You know why they did that to him? So all the younger people who like Young Brother, the young voters who are coming up, would see PNM and Young Brother on the same stage. So PNM is a good thing. If Young Brother mixing with the PNM and on the stage with the PNM, then guess what? We need to vote PNM. That's how they do it. Yeah. But when he was truly fighting to break that, to kick that door open, they didn't go for him. They did not go for him. And he has to play ball because they have the ability to kill his dream. And that is the truth. Right? But Kingsley, go ahead.
Yeah, and Obi, the people of these areas have to realize that, and that is why Obi, I was telling Heavy today. We cannot put all our resources on social media. Yes, we have social media, but we need to meet these people and them.
Yeah.
Sit down and listen to them.
Yeah.
And hear them.
There's so much potential in Silots, eh?
Here is the problem. Because we cannot just go and counter BS talk on social media.
Yeah.
Performance beat over talk.
All the time.
So when they cussing we and calling we names, we must say, okay, look at we building 5 schools.
Yeah.
We building 10 houses.
Yeah.
We fixing the road.
Yeah, we bring in programs to your community. We're looking for the talent in your community and we're putting them in the places that they could think.
Not only to go and fight these imps and them who I believe it is not reaching the right thing. It be like my point of view.
Right.
Right? I believe that these people them who on social media pushing fake news because there's fake news.
Yeah, it is.
The page fake.
Yeah.
They know me and you face on social media over. They know we. So it's not fake. We ain't pushing fake. We ain't hiding behind no keyboard and discussing. You just go live on your TikTok and your YouTube. Right? So we need to go down to the ground also and deal with this. But because we can't just open 5 TikTok page to go and fight war. To go and cuss and things.
This is why election. I said I will always be a groundsman. I will always stand in the corner of Silots, St. Paul Street and inside Coffee Library because those were the places that I lived. I know these people very well. I have family there and I know that they are good people and they are very brilliant people inside of Silots community and people with a lot of potential. But nobody notices it and nobody highlights it. And that is why they are left behind.
Look at Heavy this evening, that I know that person is at UNC. Strong UNC. He said Kingsley boy. The UNC should have kept CPEP. He said because CPEP used to work.
Yeah, but it's coming back.
But he said CPEP used to work because it are people dislike what the government do with CPEP. Who supporting us and who not supporting us.
Right.
Right? If it's a party, loyalty, you go with the flow.
Yeah.
Right? But it have people who is UNC, I'm on the ground.
Yeah.
Right? And I am saying that they want to feel we. They want to touch we. They want to know where we are.
Yeah.
And we cannot be just be sit down in the studio or in the office or in our thing and this thing, We have to go to the communities. We have to find out what is like how Philip doing. Right? We have to embrace them. We have to take the insult in that kind of way.
Yeah.
Because they was neglected for about 10 years. So they're angry, they're miserable. I know time short and I want to thank you very much.
I guess that is your final thoughts there.
Yes, and do have a good night. And we just middle of the week. Tomorrow is Wednesday. There's only Tuesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. So we middle of the week tomorrow. I will be back here from 6 to 8 on the Big Bad Wrap-Up Show. Thank you very much on the YouTube,
and
Facebook.
Yep. You always see me in the morning, but remember, we cannot become a first world nation with a third world mentality. So make a better version of yourself, Trinidad and Tobago. We were here.